Welcome back to the Carnival series, and let me teach you one of the hardest to understand activities in Growtopia, Crystal Shattering. Before we get into Crystal Shattering, let me introduce you to the crystals themselves. Crystals are basically blocks or items that you can obtain from Geiger chargers. There are 5 different crystals: red, blue, green, white, and black. Now that you know about crystals, let's get into the actual process. First step, find a crystal recipe on the Growtopia wiki. There are a lot of recipes on the Growtopia wiki, but among them, I recommend you 2 different recipes. For starters, especially for those who doesn't have that much of a budget, you could go with crystal trees. Its recipe is GGBBB. If you have a huge budget and are willing to profit, I recommend you go for crystal gates. Its recipe is RRRBW. The letters are basically the first letter of the color of the crystal. So here in game, I have crystals right here on my inventory. Should be here, right here. So I have a blue, green, and red. And since we're broke, we're gonna go for the cheapest recipe, which they said are the crystal trees. So we're gonna select our crystals and place it. We have our green crystal here. What we want to do is just mix the crystals by selecting your crystals and clicking them on the same spot where you placed your first crystal. So for instance, we have our green here. Let me select my second green, click it on this green, and then select my red. Put all 3 of them in the crystal. And now, here it says the crystals have reached their highest vibration. When it says that, it means that your crystal is ready for harmonizing. This right here is a crystal cluster. This is what you will basically be shattering later on once you harmonize them. So, how do you actually harmonize crystals? It's a little hard to understand, so follow along. When you wrench the crystal, click it, you will see this thing right here. The crystals are out of alignment with the elements. They need to be surrounded by vastly more blah 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 blah. There's a few key things that you want to analyze here. Firstly are the chis, or the elements. In Growtopia, there are 4 elements.
Water, earth, fire, air. Long ago.
Yes, they are exactly the same as the essences. The second thing that you should analyze here is this one. It says vastly more earth chi, vastly more fire chi, vastly more earth chi, vastly more water chi. So what does that mean? It is basically asking you to power up this crystal with these elements. To do that, you want to be surrounding the crystal with blocks. But what type of blocks? How do I select from these, these blocks that I have right here? Which block should I use? So if you didn't know, each block has its own element. So how do I know the element of the block? That's simple. Select the block and then press info, and then right here, just beside its name, you will see the element of the block. For instance, I have pencil right here, and its logo is showing, it's telling me that this pencil block is an earth element block. Now that we know that it's an earth element block, let's place, some pencils right here, and let's see what the crystal says. It says that you need more earth chi. It didn't change at all. But why is that? How am I supposed to know if I'm giving this crystal enough element power? That's simple. By its rarity. The lower the rarity of the block, the lower the power it has. So right now, I placed 4 pencils with 8 rarity, so that means 8 multiplied by 4, meaning I'm giving it a total of 32 earth power, which obviously isn't enough. On the wiki, there is a guide on how much rarity you need in order to power up the crystal enough to harmonize it. The wiki says right here that we need a rarity of 40 plus, so we're gonna need more than just a pencil. We also can't put pencils around like this on the crystal, because even if we've given the crystal enough earth element power, we still need to give it the water power, the wind power, and the fire power. It's basically a mix and match. Mix and match sounds hard because yes, it is. It also depends on the type of blocks that you have. But here's one tip. I suggest you use these useless blocks. They are the stuff blocks that you often get from Geiger chargers. They don't really serve that much of a purpose other than for harmonizing your crystals, because first of all, they have a balanced rarity, a rarity of 36, and they all have different element powers. For instance, this white stuff is a wind element stuff, and the black stuff is a fire element stuff. So let's find out which here is the earth element type. Okay, the green stuff is the earth element type. So we're gonna try, to place some greens here and see if it's enough. Now it's asking me to give it less earth chi. That means I went over the required earth element power. So I have to, lessen it. So let me break the stuff. And let's place it with maybe... What do we have? Is this... Okay, this is earth. But I think I'm gonna need more than 10 rarity. Maybe hedge. Yeah, maybe hedge. Let's try. Wait, no, this isn't hedge. This is foliage. Wait, I'm dumb. Let's place here. Let's see. There we go. If you don't see the element here anymore, it means we've given it enough earth power. Now we can move on with the other ones, which is fire chi, air chi, and water chi. Let's move on to water chi. The biggest trick to water chi right here is by using water buckets. Because water buckets are neither blocks nor wallpapers, which is a good thing. So let's see if we've given it enough water power. Let's wrench it. Okay, now it says vastly less water chi. Okay, so it means we've given it too much. And wrench it again. We've given it enough water chi. That's great. Now let's move on to the fire chi. Fire chi blocks are often the most expensive ones, but I recommend you to use black stuff and obsidian. So let's place the black stuff. Place. Okay, less fire chi. Means we have to find a fire element block with a lower rarity than 36. So maybe a black block? No, that's too low. Let's try exclamation sign with a rarity of 9. Let's try to put 1. And we've given it enough, fire element power. And all that's left is air chi. So we gotta give it air element blocks. So what air elements blocks do we have here? Oh, white stuff. Let's try to place 1. We need more. Let's place 2. Slightly more. But what do I do now, Jimp? There isn't any block space. What can I do? Utilize background blocks. Basically wallpapers. For instance, I have air ducts. These ones. These are wind element blocks. So let's place that like maybe here. And then let's check if the crystal is perfect. Boom. Here we go. It says the crystals are in perfect harmonic resonance with the elements. A single tap should reveal their true essence. It means we have given the crystal enough element power of each element. So we've given it enough earth power, we've given it enough water power, fire power, and wind power. All that is left to do is to punch the crystal. And there you go. Wait, hold on. This isn't a crystal spike. Okay, I apparently used 3 red crystals instead of blue crystals. But I guess this is good enough. We got a gilded frame. Yeah. And that's all for this Carnival guide. If this video helped you a lot, please like and subscribe. And bye-bye.